Horrifying moment that a wedding celebration in Iraq turned to a scene of devastation when a complete moron firing an AK-47 assault rifle one-handed shot a fellow reveler in the head at point-blank range. The footage, filmed at an unknown location, captures a joyful scene, which quickly turns to misery thanks to the idiot with the gun. Firing celebratory shots into the air is a Middle Eastern wedding tradition that can sometimes lead to tragic consequences. Take this clown waving a pistol around at a wedding in Egypt, for example. Now keep your eye on this poor guy minding his own business and enjoying the party. He never saw it coming. Gangnam Style turned to gunman style at this Yemeni wedding in 2013, when the sound of Korean rapper Psy's worldwide hit was drowned out by raining bullets. Or what about this gruesome scene? The last thing this poor guest at a Kurdish wedding party saw before he died was a simpleton with a machine gun, dancing in front of him like Michael Flatley on bath salts. So guys, maybe it's time to stop firing guns in the air to celebrate stuff. How many more weddings have to become funerals before these trigger-happy macho men wise up?
Clerk chases away robber with a shotgun. A masked robber with a shotgun had the tables turned on him when he tried to carry out a robbery at a convenience store in Staatsburg, New York earlier this month. Video footage shows the would-be criminal entering the store and handing what appears to be a plastic bag to the clerk before demanding money. As the clerk fills the bag with cash, the robber seems to grow impatient and reaches towards the register himself. This is when the clerk decides he's having none of that and bravely attacks the robber before chasing him out the door. Legend is the robber is still running. Steve Harvey announces the wrong winner of Miss Universe 2015. The select few who tune into the Miss Universe contest were horrified on Sunday night after the pageant crown was removed from one contestant and placed on the head of another. Host of the 2015 Miss Universe pageant, Steve Harvey, is definitely no stranger to embarrassing moments on television, but his mess up last night may just take the cake. Harvey had only one real job that night, and that was to correctly identify and announce the name of the 2015 Miss Universe pageant winner. But cue cards weren't enough to keep Harvey from flubbing the results when it came down to the final two contestants, and Harvey accidentally named an ecstatic Miss Colombia, Arianda Gutierrez, as this year's Miss Universe. Her moment of glory, however, didn't last long. A visibly distraught Harvey reappeared on stage in order to correct his earlier mistake. He then crowned the half-German, half-Filipina Miss Philippines, Pia Alonzo Werschbach, as this year's winner instead, much to the chagrin of Gutierrez and everybody else watching the show. It's unclear how exactly Harvey made this mistake because his cue card is pretty straightforward, but both contestants handled their respective win and loss with grace. Harvey, however, was not as graceful in his apology.
New video evidence raises questions about fatal police shooting in Long Beach. More than a year after the death of Noel Aguilar, video obtained by the law firm of Kizar, Henderson, and Carrasco shows two officers shooting him dead from the back when he is on the ground.
He got his gun. You fucking move, I'm gonna kill you, bitch.
The law firm, which represents Aguilar's fiancée and mother, released the footage on Friday. The incident happened on May 26, 2014. Two Los Angeles County deputies tried to pull over Noel Aguilar for riding a bicycle while wearing headphones in Long Beach. The 23-year-old allegedly fled, first on his bike, then on foot. The deputies chased him and caught up with him in a driveway next to an apartment complex. They pushed him to the ground, took his gun, and tried to handcuff him. Aguilar resisted. During the ensuing struggle, one of the deputies, Albert Murad, fired his gun and accidentally hit his partner. The partner, Jose Ruiz, did not seem to realize it was Murad who fired his gun. Aguilar can be heard saying, "I didn't shoot nobody," to no avail. Murad fired a second shot, and Ruiz, who was bleeding from his stomach, fired 3 rapid shots in Aguilar's back, killing him. In the video, Aguilar can be heard saying, "I'm dying." Attorneys for Aguilar's family say the video was shot by a bystander who recently sent it to them anonymously. The attorneys gave the recording to both the district attorney and the FBI. They are demanding that the case be reopened and the deputies be criminally prosecuted. Boy Scout leader getting mauled by an angry bear is saved by scouts and dog. A 50-year-old Boy Scout leader was taking 3 scouts on a Sunday hike yesterday when he accidentally woke up a hibernating bear. Christopher Petronino was leading 3 scouts to a cave near Split Rock Reservoir on Sunday. Petronino entered the cave, which he had visited before, but this time there was a bear inside and it bit his foot and dragged him in. Petronino was bitten on both shoulders and the leg. He then struck the bear with a rock hammer and covered his head with his sweater. Petronino told the scouts to leave and find help, but also put whatever food they had by the mouth of the cave. Eventually, the scouts' barking dogs scared the bear away, and Petronino was airlifted to the hospital. Northern New Jersey recently held its annual black bear hunt, meant to keep bears away from population centers. 510 bears were killed in the hunt.
Kitty pics used for ISIS propaganda. Cat pictures are basically the only thing that unites the internet in Oz. Oh wait, is that cat sitting inside a suicide belt? What the f***? Turns out the little gray furball lives in Raqqa, Syria, and yeah, Lucy is a member of ISIS. Or at least her moronic owner is. Poor Lucy. Just imagine the things she's seen and done. Do cats get virgins if they're martyred? Anyway. Lucy's been drafted by her British jihadi master to work as an online recruiter. Cause you know, you see a cute ISIS cat sleeping next to a grenade, and how could you not want to move to ISISville and go chop some infidel butt? 28-year-old Omar Hussein, also known as Abu Alawaki, aka Abu Saeed al-Britani, used to live with his mom and worked at a Morrison's supermarket in Buckinghamshire. But Omar had bigger dreams, and was also apparently interested in finding himself some nice, obedient jihadi brides. So off to Raqqa he went. Sadly for Omar, his propaganda pussycat has not helped him find any burqa bombshells, but he has gained some fame as the idiot posting pics of his terrorist cat. Omar frequently posts images of his life in Raqqa, teaching cute little girls to love murder, having some chocolate, or sharing the agony of him taking 50 minutes to peel just 10 potatoes, to which some smartass responded their mom could have had every potato in Syria peeled by then. Yeah, maybe he should stick to terrorist cat pictures. And by the way, Omar, please blow yourself up as soon as possible, and leave Lucy out of it. She's suffered enough.
German historian claims Hitler really did only have one testicle. A set of long-lost medical records belonging to genocidal maniac and all-around bad guy Adolf Hitler have finally proved that the old song was right all along. Nazi Germany's wartime leader really did only have one testicle. That's according to German historian Professor Peter Fleischmann, who says the Führer's records prove the urban legend is true. Hitler and a gang of his Nazi buddies were arrested in 1923 for trying to overthrow the German government and taken to prison. Historian Fleischmann says that while Hitler was in jail, he was examined by a doctor named Joseph Steiner Brin. The doctor noted that the then 34-year-old Hitler had a right-side cryptorchidism, which means his right ball never descended. The notes surfaced at an auction 5 years ago, but were not studied until recently because the Bavarian government confiscated them. If correct, it means Hitler didn't lose one of his family jewels to a shrapnel wound in World War I, as rumor also had it. The records would also mean that Hitler's childhood doctor was talking complete balls when he told U.S. interrogators in 1943 that one of the most evil men in history had a completely normal set of gonads.
Car plows into crowd on Las Vegas Strip. At least one person was killed and more than 30 people were injured after a car ran over multiple pedestrians on the famous Las Vegas Strip Sunday night. A crash that took place on the Las Vegas Boulevard near the Planet Hollywood Resort on Sunday night involved a female driver who had a 3-year-old child with her in the vehicle. It's not clear whether the female driver drove her car onto the sidewalk intentionally. However, witnesses said the driver had both hands on the wheel and didn't appear to want to stop the car. Some pedestrians tried to stop the vehicle but weren't able to. The woman then drove away from the scene after hitting more than 30 people. The driver has been arrested and is undergoing various tests, including a blood alcohol test. The Democratic debate between Clinton, Sanders, and what's his name? The third Democratic presidential debate finally got underway in New Hampshire Saturday after Hillary Clinton finished running a few errands. Bernie Sanders got things going by apologizing for his aide's breach of Clinton's proprietary voter data, and Hillary accepted. The two presidential hopefuls decided not to air out their dirty laundry, and instead traded blows on taxes and health care with some other guy named O'Malley. Clinton was against more citizens buying guns, while Sanders called for a consensus on gun regulations. On the issue of foreign policy, Clinton ran circles around her opponents. When asked if corporate America should love Clinton, Hillary responded, "Everyone should." Sanders, on the other hand, responded by saying no, adding that Wall Street will like me even less. One thing the candidates did agree on, however, was how they all can't stand Donald Trump. And apparently, according to Hillary, Trump has now turned into ISIS's best recruiter. Best closing goes to Clinton, though, when she said, "Thank you, good night, and may the force be with you." Over 50 people missing and dozens of buildings buried after a massive landslide in China. A landslide hit Shenzhen, China on Sunday, leaving dozens of buildings buried, and according to state-run media, at least 59 people missing. The BBC reports that a person living around 4 kilometers from the site described hearing a loud explosion at around noon when the landslide hit. State-run Xinhua news agency reports the landslide also ruptured a gas pipeline, causing an explosion at the Hengtaiyu Industrial Park. China's Public Security Bureau's firefighting unit said 20,000 square meters was covered with soil, an area roughly the size of 2 standard FIFA regulation soccer pitches. There are conflicting reports as to how many buildings collapsed and how many people are dead and missing. Government officials say at least 1,500 workers are at the scene helping with the rescue effort. However, there has so far been no official word as to what caused the landslide. Paris-bound Air France flight diverted after hoax bomb found in bathroom. A bomb scare on an Air France flight carrying more than 400 people forced the crew to make an emergency landing in Mombasa, Kenya over the weekend. A passenger on board the Paris-bound flight AF463 from Mauritius found a suspicious device in the bathroom late Saturday mid-flight. A Kenyan official told The Guardian that the box looked like a cardboard box with a stopwatch taped onto it. Crew members were immediately alerted and the Boeing 777 was diverted to the nearest airport in Mombasa, Kenya. The plane landed at the airport before 1 a.m. on Sunday, and those on board were evacuated via the plane's emergency slides. Bomb experts were called in, but officials found it did not contain explosives. 6 passengers were questioned about the bomb hoax while the rest of the passengers departed from Mombasa later that day. This is the 3rd Air France plane to be diverted in recent weeks. The company has been the target of 4 bomb threats in the past 15 days, 3 of which were directed at flights in the U.S.
Projector gets stuck. Star Wars fans go crazy.
Oh my God. Wow. I can't believe it.
The whole crowd's angry.
Star Wars ruined twice.
More! No, keep going.
Just gonna stop the movie and put it back on in the wrong spot. So now they're rewinding. That's crazy. The 3D stopped working, so they turned it off. 5 minutes later, they put it towards the end. Spoiled the movie for us. Put it back on again. Put it in the wrong spot again. Finally.
Student faking terminal illness jailed for ruining teacher's life. 22-year-old Alyssa Bianco from Cornwall wove a web of falsehoods that destroyed the life of 39-year-old Sally Retalak, her former tutor, who was only trying to help her. Bianco made up a string of cons that eventually led to Retalak losing her house, her job, and her marriage. Bianco came to live with Retalak after cooking up a bunch of lies about being abused by her parents and being diagnosed with illnesses that she backed up with fake documents. Retalak would give Bianco rides to the hospital, where she would sit in the cafe and buy bandages to dress her fake surgeries and forge hospital documents. Eventually, Retalak's husband left her because of the stress that the crazed pathological lies put on their family. Then, Bianco took it a step further by playing Cupid for Retalak and setting her up with her doctor, who didn't really exist. She impersonated him in emails and on the phone. On the way to go meet the made-up doctor, Bianco showed Retalak messages saying that he had died. She even went so far as to tell everyone that she had been given 3 months to live, so she drafted a bucket list, and Retalak threw her a last birthday party. The deceptions were revealed when Retalak went to visit Bianco at the hospital, and none of the staff had heard of her. She was discovered in the hospital cafe and admitted to the fabrications. Retalak left her job and moved to France to start a new life. Bianco was sentenced to 2 years and 8 months in jail after being found guilty of stalking and causing serious harm or distress in a Truro Crown Court. China tests railroad car launch of DF-41 missile. According to United States intelligence agencies' monitors, China has tested a railcar launch of a long-range missile that can reach the U.S. Defense officials announced China's military testing canister ejection of a DF-41 missile on December 5th. Estimates by U.S. intelligence agencies say that the DF-41 will carry up to 10 MIRVs when it's deployed. According to Philip A. Carber, a defense expert who heads the Potomac Foundation, China has tunnel complexes that can hold 3 missile trains side by side. Carber added that launch cars can be disguised as civilian passenger trains, travel on high-speed trains, and are hard to regulate or verify because of tunnel protection and secure reloading of multiple warheads. The DF-41 reportedly has a range of 7,500 miles, or over 12,000 kilometers. Rick Fisher, an expert on the Chinese military program, told the Washington Free Beacon, "This vastly increases the challenge of tracking China."
Horrifying moment that a wedding celebration in Iraq turned to a scene of devastation when a complete moron firing an AK-47 assault rifle one-handed shot a fellow reveler in the head at point-blank range. The footage, filmed at an unknown location, captures a joyful scene, which quickly turns to misery thanks to the idiot with the gun. Firing celebratory shots into the air is a Middle Eastern wedding tradition that can sometimes lead to tragic consequences. Take this clown waving a pistol around at a wedding in Egypt, for example. Now keep your eye on this poor guy minding his own business and enjoying the party. He never saw it coming. Gangnam Style turned to gunman style at this Yemeni wedding in 2013, when the sound of Korean rapper Psy's worldwide hit was drowned out by raining bullets. Or what about this gruesome scene? The last thing this poor guest at a Kurdish wedding party saw before he died was a simpleton with a machine gun, dancing in front of him like Michael Flatley on bath salts. So guys, maybe it's time to stop firing guns in the air to celebrate stuff. How many more weddings have to become funerals before these trigger-happy macho men wise up?
Clerk chases away robber with a shotgun. A masked robber with a shotgun had the tables turned on him when he tried to carry out a robbery at a convenience store in Staatsburg, New York.